Faulkner is predominantly conveyed in calm locales and favors a hotter environment. Notwithstanding, it is cold impervious to some extent, as well. Japanese box Faulkner can grow at temperatures in the scope of 23 to 35 C, yet will become torpid and quit growing in the event that the temperature goes beyond this reach. Assuming that the temperature stays around 16 to 27 C, it will be lively and grow quickly. It leans towards soggy soil but at the same time is lenient toward dry circumstances. Be that as it may, it isn't lenient toward waterlogging. Faulkner preferences adequate daylight, however can endure halfway shade as well. In this manner, it can grow well both inside and outside. You can establish it any place, aside from detects that is totally in the shade the entire day. On the off chance that it doesn't get sufficient daylight, the leaves might become yellow. There are different species in the Buxus class that lean toward low light conditions, which are best grown someplace with a halfway shade that tries not to coordinate burst daylight in the late spring. Japanese box Faulkner likes adequate daylight yet can endure fractional shade as well. In this manner, it can grow well both inside and outside. You can establish it any place, with the exception of spots that are totally in the shade the entire day. On the off chance that it doesn't get sufficient daylight, the leaves might become yellow. There are different species in the Buxus variety that favor low light conditions, which are best grown someplace with a fractional shade that tries not to coordinate burst daylight in the late spring. Faulkner doesn't need a particular soil type yet loves the soil to be clammy and prolific. It might actually grow in dry and desolate circumstances. Nonetheless, because of its bigotry of waterlogging, it is prescribed to establish it in sandy soil with great seepage, as opposed to inert soil. It is prescribed to establish the Japanese box Faulkner in the spring, so it has a chance to grow sufficient before winter comes. Likewise, the weather conditions in spring are gentle and warm, dissimilar to in the mid-year when intensity and dry spells could obstruct its capacity to adjust to another climate. Assuming you plant it in the nursery, you ought to pick some place that gets 5 to 6 hours of daylight every day, and soil that has great waste. Water it following planting. Assuming that the weather conditions are extremely dry, you ought to keep on watering it every day for 3 successive days. Faulkner, like wet soil however, isn't lenient toward waterlogging. Assuming its leaves become yellow, you are instructed to decrease the recurrence with respect to watering. During spring and summer, it grows extravagantly and requires opportune watering. Water completely each time. In the event that the weather conditions get excessively warm, water it 2 times per day, once in the early morning and once at night. In the fall, its growth will slow and the recurrence of the watering can be diminished. In the event that it is grown in a pot, keep on watering consistently, as the soil in a pot will dry out more rapidly. Faulkner delivers small flowers, so it doesn't need a lot of fertilizer. It ought to be given fertilizer a few times during its incredible growth stage, simultaneously as you water it. Utilize completely decayed natural fertilizer, however, don't add excessively. Faulkner is extremely open-minded toward pruning and will in general quickly grow new twigs after it has been cut. You can manage it into various looks relying upon your necessities. Pruning in the mid-year and winter is ideal. In summer, the plant is lavish, however the ventilation among the branches and leaves isn't perfect, making it helpless against irritations and illnesses. In winter, it grows gradually and can keep a specific elaborate search for longer. You can manage off any leaves that are old, dead, or have changed variety, to make the plant look more satisfactory.